The essence of this project lies in three parts. First, to rehash an experiment presenting the linkage between obesity and inflammation. Second, to determine whether the hypothesized model provided above is viable so as to identify molecular interactions within obesity. And finally, the true goal of this project is to utilize the information gained from the hypothesized model and translate it to the ideal model. Namely, the goal of this project is to identify molecular precursors in hypoxia-induced inflammation and inhibit them so as to reduce said inflammation and related metabolic disease. So the three goals were essentially translated into three different experiments. These experiments worked so as to prove each of these models. For example, the contemporary model was tested in two different experiments, which I labeled Part 1. Secondly, the hypothesized model was tested at Part 2 and ideal model in Part 3. Each of these experiments led to a final summary and indeed proved that each of these models existed and were true. For example, the contemporary model, as seen above, was proven true as obesity indeed induced inflammation. In the hypothesized model, obesity indeed induced hypoxia as theorized in the past, and hypoxia did indeed induce inflammation. In the ideal model, which was the main and take-home message of our project, we found that there was an intermolecular regulating agent, which was P38, and the inhibition of which reduced inflammation, which could prove to be very useful in the future as we can apply it to in vivo models and test it for human clinical trials.